Austin Trout, thanks for joining us on the Fight SZN Podcast. First of all, congratulations on a huge win over Diego Sanchez. How you feeling right now?
I feel good. I'm all right.
Your face is looking clean.
I'm still good. My hands are all right, so I'm happy. Blessed that we were able to walk away safely for the most part.
Before we get started, I got to ask you about that photo. That photo went viral, super iconic. You're busting Diego in the face and it's like blood splattering. What did you think of the photo? Are you framing it?
Man, I gotta get that sucker framed and put that in my my pool room for sure. That whoever took that picture, man, shout out to you. You got an eye, man. That was great.
No, that was a sick photo.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like you're the king of Albuquerque right now? I know because you and Diego are both from New Mexico, and going into this fight, you were like, "Hey, the king of New Mexico title's on the line."
I believe for right now, I will take that. We got to pay homage to the late great Johnny Tapia. He'll be the king of New Mexico forever, of all times. But right now, I'm the king. I'm the king for right now.
That's what's up. Now I got to ask you. I mean, Diego came out today and he did a couple posts on you. He's upset because the video making the rounds is your cornerman rubbing Vaseline or what was it, Vaseline on your neck, or what was that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, we don't have nothing. They don't allow anything else in the corners besides what is approved. And that's Vaseline, ice in bags, and inswells, I believe. That's it.
Right.
So has anybody looked up the rules for BKFC? Because everybody keeps telling me that this is against the rules, this is cheating. Has anybody looked up the rules for BKFC regarding Vaseline?
Dante, I think that's
I'm looking them up. Yeah. I'm looking them right now. Let me see what I can find. Do you know the rules,
Austin, regarding Vaseline and rubbing Vaseline on yourself?
According to the BKFC page, there's nothing regarding it. It's usually up to the commission.
It's up to the commission.
Okay. Yes, it's up to the commission.
That would be the New Mexico boxing.
New Mexico Commission. Not to mention, the person who was putting on Vaseline was a BKFC staff member. Was not my corner. It was BKFC staff. So they're like, "Oh, he's rubbing it on his back. Take that up with them." You know what I mean? Not to mention, as far as boxing goes, it's very common that we don't know how much Vaseline that the commission at the time decides is too much or is not enough. It's usually up to that guy who's running it. So we put on what we're gonna put on. If they don't like it, they just tell us to wipe it off.
So I'm watching the video now. Oh, you can't see the video.
So I see.
So that guy there, he's part of BKFC.
No, that's my coach, Hollywood.
Okay, Hollywood. Yeah. So you acknowledge they're rubbing Vaseline on you, but you don't know if that's against the rule.
It's not even necessarily legal, and I mean, again, it's discrepancy on the commission. And did anybody hear Diego complain one time immediately after the fight about he couldn't grab me or there's too much Vaseline or anything like that? No, because this asshole couldn't grab me, and it wasn't because of the Vaseline, it was because of the body shots. You know what I'm saying? I got a video of Diego right after the fight talking about he was just too slick, too fast, his footwork was too much. I couldn't implement my game plan. Those are the reasons why he couldn't implement his game plan of clinching and holding, whatever he wanted, whatever the hell his game plan was. He admitted right after the fight why he was not able to do that, and it had nothing to do with Vaseline.
Yeah, because I'm reading his post here, and Diego's saying a bare employee collaborated to grease him in prevention of my clinch strategy. I took a lot of extra damage in this bout that I shouldn't have, and he said, he's adding Feldman to make this right. And he's asking for lawyers. He wants to get the fight overturned. He wants to get the loss overturned. He's talking about legal advice. He's asking people for legal advice. He basically wants the loss overturned. Your thoughts on that is?
He's begging for anybody to help him out. So I mean, again, show me what rule did I break? What rule did anybody break? Because I didn't put Vaseline on myself. And right in the first video that he saw was the BKFC guy that was putting Vaseline on him, and they're like, "It's on his back of his neck. That's illegal." Where is it illegal? Again, I looked at the BKFC rules, and it has nothing to say about Vaseline.
And they could have stopped it if they thought there was a problem.
Exactly. And it was right in front of everybody, in front of all the cameras, in front of all the crowd, in front of his team, in front of my team. It was done in front of everybody. Not like it was like, underhanded or something sneaky we're not trying to do anything illegal because everything we did was permitted and it was done in front of their faces. Their team was right there watching too. If he didn't have any Vaseline on, that's his fault. That's his fault. He needs to fire his corner.
Boxers been using Vaseline for decades. The
Exactly.
question is, if you were to not use Vaseline, how does that fight turn out?
The same way. He didn't catch me. There was no punches to slide off my face. It would have been the same thing. There would have been nothing different.
Now, obviously, he wants to get it overturned. Are you willing to offer him a rematch? You want to run it back?
No, absolutely not. I don't. You couldn't pay me enough money to beat up Diego Sanchez again. And honestly, I don't want that on my conscience.
Right.
I heard you.
I'm not a murder for hire.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not a murder for hire. He doesn't need to fight again. He took enough damage in that last fight. Vaseline had nothing to do with that damage. It was the jab and it was the footwork.
So there's not an amount of money that the bare knuckle fighting can pay you to.
No, because look at the damage he took. Right. I didn't want to punch him anymore in the fight we just had. You feel me? I was like, look, man, this is enough. And when the ref said no, jabbed him again, it should just split. I'm like, now? Could this be enough now? I didn't want to punch him not one more time.
Right. So you kind of felt bad. Like you kind of.
Yes. I still, I pray that he's okay. Sometimes these effects, they show up later, but he's acting like these effects are showing up right now, with all this accusation. He's really running with it. And worse than that, people are running with it. I thought, like, bro, the people just going to chalk it up like Diego's is crazy. We're not listening to this shit. But no, there's actually people that are listening to it and calling me a cheater. And I'm like, has anybody taken the time to read the rules first before you even know what you're talking about?
Right. And because in your boxing fights, you've used Vaseline in almost every fight in my boxing. So I know it's different in UFC, but do they not still put Vaseline on in the UFC?
So that was a point that Diego made in one of his Instagram stories, was that he said that his claim about why the Vaseline was such a big deal is because that using it in a clinch was something that you weren't used to because you have always worn boxing gloves. So like you weren't used to like the whole gripping a person's body and being able to pull them in and holding them. So that like that was something that you weren't going to be used to, and that's why that the Vaseline was such an issue. There are cases where, like, I think George St. Pierre was accused of using Vaseline, which would have been illegal in similar situations. But I'm not, in terms of BKFC, I can't tell you the rules. I've actually looked up the rules. And I can't find it, to be honest.
Nothing about Vaseline. Yeah. So that means it's at the discretion of the commission. Now in the UFC, they do allow Vaseline, but they do. I'm assuming they state where you can and can't put Vaseline. Okay, the BKFC does not state where you can and can't put Vaseline. And again, the whole clinching thing that he says that was his game plan. Go watch the fight. I was winning those clinches, and there was not one time that I ever felt Diego grab the back of my neck, and it's because as soon as he lifted his arm, I beat the hell out of his body, and he stopped that. After that, he never clinched again.
Yeah, you were controlling the distance the whole fight. Yeah,
controlled the distance. Had my step backs. The first round was the only time we clinched. He never went for the head. As soon as he lifted that arm, I started catching that liver, and he never wanted to clinch again. So like, come on, Diego, this is ridiculous. I understand that you got embarrassed, but this is even more embarrassing.
Let me ask you this. You were just in there with them, 2 days ago. Should Diego Sanchez retire? Do you think he has another performance? Yes.
No, he should not have another performance. He honestly probably couldn't afford the last performance.
Right. He should definitely.
He should definitely retire. And all this crying of cheating and whatnot is also further proof that he don't need to do this no more.
I saw a tweet from Sean Strickland that was kind of harsh about this. He says, and I quote, "When will beating up Diego Sanchez be treated as beating up a retard, LMAO?" At some point, you got to look in the mirror and think, I just fucked up a mentally ill man. LOL.
Yeah, he's next.
So,
no, he's right in some aspects.
Hey, I apologize.
He's the one who was trying to make that fight with me for like 3 years. I've been hearing about Diego trying to fight me.
This ain't the Dante Greco show. We can't be using that R word around here.
well, Jesse, you could bleep that. I'm just reading you what the quote was.
Yeah.
We're not live.
We don't have to read it verbatim. Thank you, Dante.
Hey, I didn't tweet that. What do you want?
I didn't write it, but he'll
Wait,
be the one that's canceled. Not Strickland.
Did I hear you say he's next when he said that?
He can be next.
Okay, all right.
Who can? Strickland.
Yeah.
Would you be? Well, he's on a contract with the UFC, but you know what? Bare knuckle actually.
But he's in the same boat. Like I wouldn't want to put him through any more punishment than he's already gone through in his career. You know.
Are you tired of MMA fighters thinking they can step in with boxers like yourself? Because you're a legitimate boxer who's fought.
No, I'm not tired of that because that's great competition. You know, it's not. It's a good competition. It was a very interesting matchup. We had the whole, Diego, and it's still an interesting matchup when you have someone like, say, maybe this Luis Palomino, who's got hands, and he's still right now actively in his prime. Diego's been over the hill, in my opinion. Even though I'm 37, I'm not that much younger than him. You can tell, my cognitive skills are still there.
No, you're sharp as a tack. I've interviewed you before. You're always super sharp. Now, I want to ask you. Everyone was talking about your performance, Lorenzo Hunt's performance, and Josh Watson's performance.
Yeah,
you had a fantastic performance. Who does Austin Trout want next?
Oh, they call him the pound for pound champ. I want Luis Palomino. Let me get that belt for both the belts.
They brought him into the cage with you afterwards.
They did.
What'd you guys say to each other? What was what's your
he was talking about he needs to get revenge back for his boy. He looked up to Diego. I was like, well, if that's your hero, I just beat up your hero fairly easily.
How does that fight look?
Honestly, for me, in Palomino, he's very tough. He's very aggressive. But I don't know if he's got the chin of Diego. So, it's not a matter, because for Diego, for me, I didn't know if I was going to be able to hurt Diego. That was my issue. It was like, would I be able to stun him or stop him in his tracks? Because if not, it's going to be a problem. I feel like I can hurt Luis. If I can hurt Diego, I think I can hurt Luis. Luis got a little more fire in him, but I think we could spark that out of him.
So you were impressed with Diego's chin?
Yeah, I was impressed with. He caught some good flush shots, and he went down only one time. I thought he would go down more than that.
Now, what's up with Mike Perry? Would you like to step in the box?
Yes, why not? Because again, these are interesting fights. Boxer versus MMA fighter, and this is Mike Perry. Again, it's a little more of an even match, so to speak, with the style that he has.
He's one of the bigger names in BKFC. So
yeah,
if you don't get the champ Palomino, you'd like to take on Mike Perry?
Yes, sir. Why not? Is that who they say is on the top of these classes?
He's one of the bigger names, and he hasn't lost in BKFC. I think.
Okay, all right. So it's a good match to make because I just debuted. If I can't get a title shot, let's do a big name.
You'll stop Mike Perry, or how does that fight look?
I'll beat Mike Perry. I don't know how long he'll be able to take it. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever, Diego, I knew I'd stop him. Mike, who knows? What I mean? He's not going to catch me, though. He ain't going to catch me. He's going to be death of 1,000, cuts.
Hey, I only have 2 more questions. I'll turn it over to my guys. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury this weekend. Who you got and why?
I'm gonna go with Jake Paul. This is a good fight, but I think Paul is a little bit more advanced than Fury. Fury's still green, real green, really? More green than Jake Paul.
He's 8-0, I think, and Jake Paul's 6-0. But yeah,
right. But Jake Paul's gotten better in that 6 fights, and Tommy's gotten in his 8. When you look at the records, Jake Paul's even possibly fought better opponents than Tommy Fury has.
Right. So you're going with Jake Paul there. Another fight that's super close to being official is Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Who you got in that one?
I'm rocking with Tank, man. I don't see anybody beating Tank in the near future unless he goes up too much in weight. Then he might have a problem. But right now, where he's at and around him, yeah, I got Tank.
You don't. We talked to Shakur Stevenson last week. You don't think Shakur could take Tank?
Honestly, that's the style that would beat him because Shakur got the Andre Ward pedigree where he just wins. You don't have to be in great fashion like Tank does in all his wins, but he will win. So I would take Shakur over Tank if that fight did happen. Not saying that lightly though. That's a very I stuttered while saying that because Tank just catches you. You know what I'm saying? But I think Shakur has the legs and the jab to keep Tank off of him.
Right. Well, we're glad you're healthy. You're looking fresh faced. When do you want to step back in there?
As soon as I'm feeling good. Hands are a little sore, but I think they're looking for an April return date, and I'm with it. I like to go see what's going on in the boxing world and see where I fit in with the title shot or a title eliminator, and so I can weigh it out because I think I can get a belt easier in the BKFC than I can in the boxing, even though I'm ranked high up in the boxing. It's just
who do you want
looking at the landscape. Tim Tszyu supposed to fight Charlo. Charlo postponed it. Now Tim Tszyu's going to fight Tony Harrison. Depending on the winner of that, I have to wait to get an eliminator with either the winner or the loser, and then wait for them to fight so I can get the winner or loser to fight. You know what I mean?
So you're trying to juggle both BKFC and boxing right now.
Correct.
And at 37 years old, can you take out a Charlo brother?
I believe I can. I don't think he's gotten any better.
Right. And you still think you're in your prime because you look good out there.
I do. I feel like I'm in my prime. I'm still beating up these young boys in the gym, fairly easy. This last fight, I'm not saying I didn't train, but I didn't go as hard as I usually go, and this fight was fairly easy.
No, last thing for me, I promise. Who has a more punchable face here, Dante or Jesse? Top or bottom?
It's Jesse.
I'm sorry, Jesse.
Oh my God.
You gotta give. It's because it's the baby face,
Thank you.
I've always wanted to punch a baby.
Yeah, I always wanted to punch a baby.
He's the oldest one here. That's the funny part.
Yeah, no, I am. Wait. When were you born?
September 18th.
I'm September 14th. You're 4 days older than me. Let's go.
Damn. Yeah.
No, you're
how math works, Jesse.
You're 4 days older than me.
You're 4 days older.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
But
wow. This is why I didn't graduate college. That was terrible. Yeah. All right, so I'm the oldest one here then. Jesus.
Well, you're still Virgo, so be happy about that.
I look the best though. Let's go.
You do.
No, this is a handsome group. I do want to go back really quick to something that you said about the Tommy Fury Jake Paul fight, because that actually was one of my questions. And I've asked a couple of people about this. Do you consider Tommy Fury a real boxer? Because there has been debate about whether or not he's actually like a real boxer or just like a bodybuilder. And because people are saying, it's Jake Paul finally going to beat a real boxer. And, there is debate about Tommy Fury's status in that regard.
I think he's a real boxer. He's as real as any other 8-0 boxer. I don't know what would make him not a real boxer, just because he's done some bodybuilding. I know some real boxers that bodybuild too.
Well, people like Dave Portnoy said that about on the Joe Rogan show, said that about him, and then Shakur Stevenson actually agreed with that sentiment when we brought it up to him. So, yeah.
Well, look, his brother is Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
it's boxing pedigree. He's got the DNA in him. His father's, probably kept training him since he was a lad. So I would consider him a real boxer. As real as any 8-0 boxer fighting another 6-0 boxer. Because if you look at the records of usually a lot of those 8-0, 6-0s, they look pretty similar.
There you go.
Hey, Austin, do you use name brand Vaseline or a generic store knockoff?
Well, I'm actually trying to get a sponsorship by Vaseline.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
We'll have Vasagate, and I'm trying to make a meme talking about it stops you from grabbing when you don't even try to grab. It's Vaseline. Brought to you by.
I like it.
But yeah, until they sponsor me, I'm buying this knockoff.
Oh, really?
Stuff.
You go with the generic Vaseline. That's funny.
Yeah, and then when Vaseline drops that check, man, I'm Vaseline all the way. Until then, I'm greater brand.
Hey, do you only use Vaseline in the ring, or you ever use it in private in the bedroom? Or
Nah, man, I don't need no lubes, man.
There you go.
Pause. I keep shorty right.
That's our researcher.
I apologize for Dante, Austin.
The guy shows up in the Hawaiian shirt.
Questions, bro. He's like, Vaseline. I don't know how it works for you, but Vaseline ain't slick enough.
I need some advice.
Yeah.
Spit on it.
Good on it, bro. Hey,
That's right.
Austin, you're the man. Final message for Diego Sanchez.
Hey, bro, stop this shit already, man. This is not a good look. It's not making you look good. You talking about suing. You're basically biting the hand that just fed you. Ain't too many people trying to feed you. So I would definitely fall back and fall back and issue me an apology for calling me a cheater and get your ignorant ass MMA fans out of my DMs.
Hey, have you heard anything from the BKFC? Do they have your back? Have you contacted anybody about it?
No, they're like, look, we're not even listening to this guy, man.
Okay.
They basically was like, ignore it, it's gonna go away. But it's not going away. I'm telling you, these people are in my DMs bothering me. I had to make a live video just like to kind of say, like, look, shut up.
Damn, so Diego's fans are like really coming at
They
you.
are. I think punch drunkenness is contagious because a lot of his fan base, they're acting like they took a lot of shots for him. Right. And I'm like, open your eyes, go watch the fight.
Not to take
had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, so I do believe you when you say the outcome would have been the same, Vaseline or no Vaseline.
Facts. He go watch the fight. Never once did he try to grab the back of my head. Yeah. I never felt him in the back of my head. We were waiting for him the whole fight. I'm like, he's gonna clinch now. Desperation. Nope. The first round, I initiated the clinch and I beat his body up in the clinch, and he never tried to clinch again. It had nothing to do with Vaseline. It was his left hand to the gut.
And he's definitely not getting a rematch.
No, I don't want to do that. Like I said, there's not enough money right now that would be able to make me put that on my conscience. Like, I'm not a murder for hire. I can't even put a price limit on someone's life. And I think his life is at risk if he fights again.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to let you go here. Thank you so much for joining us. That's an impressive book collection you got behind you there.
Oh, thank you, man. I got some interesting stuff. You don't want to look at it. You know what I mean? I got some interesting books. I'm all over the place, too.
What you reading right now? What's the book you're reading right now?
The Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Formation.
Okay.
It's they said Abraham wrote it, but who knows? But it's very interesting. It's about Kabbalah.
Oh wow, I'm lost.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade, man.
That's next on my list, Austin.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. You want to be a prophet, you want to control the nature, the universe. Look into Kabbalah. It's science.
Love that.
All right, King in Mexico. You stay healthy out there, and we'll see you on the gram.
All right, boss. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Austin.
So Austin Trout.
Great guy. Loved it.
I don't know the rules. I'm not 100% sure what they are, but while we were doing that interview, I looked into BKFC's rules on Vaseline, couldn't find anything. And I didn't read anything that said it was against the rules. So maybe they were just exercising a loophole, or it was generally just totally innocent and Diego's wrong. No idea. But I believe Austin. That fight doesn't go any other way.
Yeah, and Dante actually did like your bedroom question about the back.
Thank you.
Good stuff, guys. So very interesting. Austin Trout said he will not be offering Diego a rematch. He thinks he should retire. Diego clearly is one of those athletes. He's not going to let anyone tell him when to retire. It looks like he was commenting back to Sean Strickland. He wants to spar Sean Strickland, which is even more bizarre because sparring, you don't get paid. Some of these fighters just like to fight. I know a lot of fighters, and they'll spar any day of the week. They just want to spar. It's a free fight. I'd rather get paid if you're going to fight. But it doesn't look like Diego's retiring anytime soon.
Yeah, he should. I mean, it's, he's obviously a legend, but he should hang it up. It's not.
Looking forward to this weekend. We do have, Floyd Mayweather coming back. He's fighting in London February 25th, and then the very next day in Saudi Arabia is Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. You guys should stay up to date. Follow us on Instagram for all the latest. We'll have your weigh-in footage. You will have your press conference footage. Stay tapped in. Anything from you guys?
Nothing. Just follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, basically any social media. You're going to get all the content for these upcoming fights and more. So check it out.
And by the time this episode drops, we will have an opportunity to go to Miami. So check out our Instagram for the two free tickets to Miami video.
How did you guys feel about him saying that I had the most punchable face? Do you guys agree with that?
I said it before he did, and then Austin agreed with me. Yeah,
right.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Hey, I take it as a badge of honor, bro.
Right. I mean, it was funny that he picked you.
It was kind of funny that he picked me. Yeah.
He was honest.
You got anything for the fight fans, Dante?
Listen, the Dante Greco show. It's great. Another great site. A lot of news. I'll keep you up to date on everything. Check that out. And you get a free chance to punch Jesse in the face. That's the next contest.
That's right.
Our platform to plug his fucking show. It is a good show, though. I do admit your show. If you're looking for fight news, come to Inside Fighting and the Fight SZN Podcast. Anything outside of fight news, your show's not a bad show, to be honest. Yeah. You cover everything from what? Pop culture, politics?
Pop culture, news, politics, breaking news, any and everything that's going on, anything that's trending, whatever. I'm talking about it.
Remind me why we have this guy on the Fight SZN Podcast, Jesse.
Because he has a nice voice, and it adds to the.
I think it's because I have
element.
I have a computer. Unlike Jesse, my computer's not refurbished. I have a working brand new Mac, so I can do the research. It won't crash the entire thing.
It's actually pretty funny. All right, that's pretty funny.
You guys taking shots at Jesse for buying a refurbished computer.
Bro, I'm getting bullied on this episode. Holy shit.
Jesse has a laptop that he bought refurbished. I didn't even know they sell refurbished laptops.
Yeah,
it's 2020. It's only 3 years old. I mean, to be fair, I bought it in 2022, so it was 2 years old when I bought it.
The guy who's in charge of editing and taking care of all the posting and stuff for a major MMA website has a refurbished. And he wonders
why his laptop crashes. Oh, yeah, I'm having a laptop overload. Hey, you bought a used computer, buddy. But anyways, try going new next time. Spend the extra couple $100. Dante will cover it.
Yeah.
What else is happening in the fight game this week? Tatiana Suarez makes her big return. The female Khabib from almost a 4-year layoff. She's fighting this weekend. That's very exciting. I'm super excited to see her come back. I think she's the future strawweight flyweight champ.
And shout out to Erin Blanchfield, who submitted Jessica Andrade in the second round. She won a great performance. She's up for a title shot too, so she's also on the come up as well.
Yeah, that was a great performance.
Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you for joining us on the Fight SZN Podcast.
Peace.